At the annual awards ceremony, the host teased the rising queen, Xia Xinghe, with a playful question, Xinghe, lately there's been rumors about you meeting a mysterious man late at night, care to spill? The whole room held its breath. Xia Xinghe smiled gracefully, winking at the camera with a mischievous glint. He's the most important person to me. Every song I sing is a love letter to him. Instantly, the internet exploded, with everyone guessing which big shot in the industry this Mr. Mysterious could be. Meanwhile, at home watching the live stream, Lin Zhou's phone buzzed with a text from Xia Xinghe. Did you hear that, my love letter man? Hurry up and make me something good to eat. I'll be home after the awards. Chapter 1, The Warmth of Longing. At 11 at night in Los Angeles, the neon lights flickered across the night sky. Xia Xinghe slumped into the leather chair in the dressing room, the mirror in front of her reflecting her exhausted face after 12 straight hours of shooting. This usually radiant national sweetheart now looked like just another tired girl. Hey, hee, last set. Assistant Xiaoya walked over with a thermos, her eyes full of concern. Xia Xinghe took the cup, the warm honey water sliding down her throat, but it couldn't dispel the emptiness in her heart. She missed Lin Zhou, missed him so much it was driving her crazy. Her phone screen suddenly lit up. A photo from Lin Zhou, a steaming bowl of white fungus and lotus seed soup, with a chubby orange cat lounging beside it. The little food thief got caught red-handed again this time. Such simple words, yet they broke Xia Xinghe down instantly. She could imagine Lin Zhou's helpless yet doting expression, and that orange cat named Little Food Thief pretending to be innocent. I want to go home. She quickly typed those 3 words, then deleted them. She couldn't let him worry. In the end, she only replied with a cute cat emoji. Hee, time for the last set, the photographer's urging voice rang out, and Xia Xinghe took a deep breath, standing up again in front of the camera. She was still perfect, her smile sweet enough to enchant anyone, but only she knew that a corner of her heart was being gnawed away by longing, leaving it riddled with holes. Beijing, 2 in the morning. Lin Zhou sat in his home studio, fingers dancing over the MIDI keyboard. The screen was filled with dense audio waveforms, every note meticulously crafted. This was the lead single for Xia Xinghe's new album. Love letter to you. I want a melody that makes you want to cry, she had said, leaning on his shoulder and acting spoiled. Why cry? He had asked then. Because that's how it feels when I miss you. Lin Zhou's fingers paused on the keyboard. Halfway across the globe, he could feel her loneliness. That helplessness surged over him like a tide. He wanted to hold her, to make her soup, to watch those boring variety shows with her, but now he could only sit here, using music to interpret longing. His phone buzzed, a cat meme from Xia Xinghe. Lin Zhou couldn't help but smile, patting the orange cat lying by the desk. Your mistress misses you. The orange cat lazily lifted its head, as if understanding, and let out a soft meow. Lin Zhou opened a video call, his heart racing inexplicably. During the few seconds of waiting, on the screen appeared Xia Xinghe's barefaced visage, without stage makeup. She was even more real and captivating. Lin Zhou, her voice was soft, laced with deep exhaustion and grievance. I'm here. His voice was gentle enough to melt ice. I want to go home. This time, she didn't hide it. Tears glistened in her eyes, but she held them back, refusing to let them fall. Lin Zhou's heart clenched instantly. He wanted to say, then come back, to say, you can skip work, to say, I'll pick you up right now, but he knew he couldn't. She was at a critical point in her career, and every commitment was crucial. Just 3 more days, and you'll be back. His voice carried a soothing strength. How about I play you a song? Okay. Xia Xinghe nodded, curling up in her chair like a child needing to be coaxed to sleep. Lin Zhou picked up the guitar beside him, his slender fingers gently brushing the strings. A familiar melody began, the song she had sung when they first met. When I was little, I always feared the dark, but now I've gotten used to facing it alone. His voice was deep and magnetic, crossing thousands of miles to warm her heart. Xia Xinghe closed her eyes, as if he were right there beside her. She could imagine his warmth, his scent, the touch of his fingertips. Lin Zhou, I love you, she said it softly, but with unwavering certainty. I love you too. His reply came without a moment's hesitation. Time zones were the cruelest enemy. When Xia Xinghe was missing Lin Zhou in the twilight of Los Angeles, he was longing for her in the dawn of Beijing. When he was creating music for her late at night, she was forcing a smile in the afternoon of a foreign country. Their life trajectories were like 2 parallel lines, never truly intersecting. Xia Xinghe's agent, Sister Lu, was a decisive and formidable woman, 35 years old, single, pouring all her energy into her career. She admired Lin Zhou's talent, but from a professional standpoint, she had to consider Xia Xinghe's future. Xinghe, your current fan base is mainly young people aged 18 to 25. Sister Lu sat across from Xia Xinghe, holding a thick market research report. Going public with your relationship now would cause a huge blow to your commercial value. Xia Xinghe remained silent. She knew Sister Lu was speaking the truth. The entertainment industry was just that cruel. I'm not against you two being together. I just think the timing isn't right. Sister Lu's tone softened slightly. Wait 2 more years, until your position is solid enough, then you can go public. Xia Xinghe nodded, but her heart was bitter. 2 years, 730 days. And nights she didn't know if she could hold on. Lin Zhou rarely went to Xia Xinghe's concerts, not because he didn't want to, but because he didn't dare. He was afraid he wouldn't be able to control the urge to rush onto the stage and embrace her. But this time, he still came, sitting in a corner of the stadium, wearing a hat and mask, wrapped up tightly. When Xia Xinghe appeared on stage, the whole venue erupted instantly. The lights hit her, and she looked like a glowing angel, breathtakingly beautiful. Today, I want to sing a song for someone special. She stood in the center of the stage, her voice crisp and clear. He might not be here, but I know he's listening somewhere. Lin Zhou's heart suddenly raced. He knew she was talking about him. This song is called Love Letter to You. The familiar prelude began, the arrangement he had personally crafted. Xia Xinghe's voice echoed through the stadium, every note brimming with emotion. All the words I want to say to you are hidden in this song. Lin Zhou's eyes welled up. He was proud of her talent, of her strength, but at the same time, he felt an unprecedented sense of loss. He could only sit in the audience, watching her from afar like everyone else, unable to go on stage, unable to embrace her, unable to tell the world she was his. This helplessness cut into his heart like a dull knife. After the concert, Xia Xinghe sent a text, row 12, the person in the baseball cap. I saw you. Lin Zhou froze for a moment, then smiled. So she had noticed all along. Yeah, I saw you, he replied. You sang beautifully. It's all thanks to you. No, it's your talent. Lin Zhou. I want a hug. Lin Zhou stared at the message, his emotions tangled. He wanted a hug too, a hug that didn't have to be secret, but for now, he could only hold her in his heart. Wait until you come back. He wanted to type those 4 words, but in the end, he deleted them. He only replied with a hugging emoji. Some words, once spoken, would only make things harder. Better to just silently guard her like this, waiting for their day to come. Chapter 2, Coming for You. Hingdian World Studios. The set was still brightly lit. Late at night, Xia Xinghe sat in the rest area, the bowl of plain congee in front of her already cold. She picked up the spoon, but her hand trembled slightly. Take 23. Since the afternoon, she had been shooting this crying scene, but she just couldn't get it right. Director Wang Kai stood in front of the monitor, his face dark enough to drip water. In the corner, the investor's representative kept checking his watch, clearly losing patience. Xinghe, what's wrong? Assistant Director Shaoli walked over, his voice full of concern. Xia Xinghe forced a smile. Nothing, just tired, but she knew deep down it wasn't tiredness, it was emptiness. That emptiness welling up from the bottom of her heart made it impossible for her to get into character. The script required her to act out the despair of losing a loved one, but all she felt was numbness. One more take. Wang Kai's voice exploded across the set. Xia Xinghe took a deep breath and stood up again. The lights focused on her once more, everyone's eyes fixed on her. 3, 2, 1, action. She closed her eyes, desperately imagining the feeling of losing Lin Zhou. Her heart raced, her breath quickened, tears came. Cut. Wang Kai's voice was laced with obvious frustration. The emotion is wrong, you're crying too deliberately, like you're completing a task, not feeling the pain. Xia Xinghe's shoulders began to tremble. She didn't know what to do anymore. The producer walked over to Wang Kai, and they exchanged a few words in low voices. Xia Xinghe vaguely caught words like replacement and schedule. Her heart sank to the bottom. At 11 o'clock at night, the wrap-up bell rang. Xia Xinghe returned to her hotel room and removed her makeup. The face in the mirror was so exhausted it was heartbreaking. She sat on the edge of the bed, picked up her phone, and thought about calling Lin Zhou, but her finger lingered on the screen for a long time. It was 2 in the morning in Beijing. He should still be working. Lin Zhou had been incredibly busy lately, with the music production for a major mobile game entering a critical phase. Every time they video called, she could see the fatigue in his eyes. She couldn't add to his burden anymore, that's what she thought. Yet she still dialed his number. Hello, Lin Zhou's voice came through, laced with obvious exhaustion. Lin Zhou, Xia Xinghe's voice trembled slightly. What's wrong? Lin Zhou immediately tensed up. setting down his headphones. The words caught in her throat, and she swallowed them back. She couldn't say it, couldn't let him worry. Nothing. I just missed you. She forced her voice to sound light. I miss you too. Lin Zhou's voice was so gentle it ached. How's work? It's okay. Xia Xinghe bit her lip. There's a scene that's a bit tough. What scene? A crying scene. Her voice grew quieter. The director says my emotions aren't right, but I don't know what to do. There was a few seconds of silence on the other end. Lin Zhou's voice softened even more. Is there something you're hiding from me? Those words struck Xia Xinghe's defenses like a bullet. Tears spilled out without warning. I'm so tired. Her voice began to crack. I have to smile every day, pretend to be happy, but I'm really so tired, and I miss you so much. I know you're busy too. I shouldn't be saying this. Xia Xinghe's sobs grew heavier. But I really can't hold on anymore. I'm going crazy missing you. Listen to me. Lin Zhou's voice turned firm. You're not alone. You're never alone. But you're not here with me. All of Xia Xinghe's grievances burst out. Every night I dream of you. Dream of us eating together, watching movies together, doing all the things normal couples do. But when I wake up, there's nothing. Lin Zhou closed his eyes. His fists clenched tight. I know. It's not the right time. I know we both have work to do. Xia Xinghe's voice was filled with despair. But I really miss you. On the other end, Lin Zhou stood up, staring at the mountain of work documents on his desk. 3 important meetings tomorrow, a new demo due the day after, and a major project launch next week. But right now, none of that mattered. Which hotel are you at? What? Xia Xinghe froze. Which hotel are you at? Lin Zhou's voice was resolute. Hengdian Holiday Inn. But you. Wait for me, Lin Zhou. You can't. Wait for me. He hung up and immediately started packing phone, charger, ID, a few changes of clothes. His movements were fast, as if he'd rehearsed this 1,000 times. At 3 in the morning, Lin Zhou sat in a taxi heading to the airport. The earliest flight was at 6:30, and he'd already bought a ticket. His phone buzzed nonstop with work messages. Teacher Lin, can you make tomorrow's meeting? Zhou Gu, how's the new track coming? Lin Zhou, the client is pushing. Can you? He replied one by one. Push the meeting to next week. Give me 3 days. Hold off for now. Something urgent came up. Then he turned off his phone. Right now, only one thing mattered, going to her. Hengdian. 8 in the morning. Xia Xinghe sat in the makeup room, her eyes red and swollen. After Lin Zhou hung up last night, she sent countless messages, but they all went unanswered. She started to regret it. She shouldn't have unloaded her emotions on him. He was already busy enough. Get ready. The assistant director came to urge her again. Xia Xinghe nodded, staring at her haggard reflection in the mirror. Today, she still had to shoot that crying scene. She didn't know if she could get through it. On set, Wang Kai's face was still dark. Last night, the producer had already pressured him. If she couldn't get it right today, they might have to consider replacing her. You need to pull yourself together today. He walked up to Xia Xinghe, his tone stern. I know you've been under a lot of pressure lately, but a professional actor should be able to control their emotions. Xia Xinghe nodded silently. I'll do my best. Good, let's start. Wang Kai returned to the monitor. All departments ready. 3, 2, 1, action. Xia Xinghe closed her eyes, trying again to get into her character's emotions, but all that surfaced in her mind was Lin Zhou's tired face. Tears streamed down her face, but Wang Kai's expression remained unsatisfied. Cut. Your emotion is still off. You need to cry more desperately. More painfully. Xia Xinghe's shoulders began to tremble. She didn't know what to do anymore. Just then, her phone rang. It was a video call. She glanced at Wang Kai, who waved his hand impatiently. Answer it quickly, then we'll continue filming. Xia Xinghe tapped the answer button, and Lin Zhou's face appeared on the screen. But this time, the background wasn't the familiar studio. Lin Zhou, where are you? Turn around. Xia Xinghe froze for a moment, then slowly turned around. 10 meters away from her, Lin Zhou was standing there. He wore a simple white t-shirt and jeans, his hair slightly messy, his eyes full of exhaustion. But the moment he saw her, a warm smile bloomed on his face. I'm here to recharge you. Xia Xinghe's world instantly stood still. The surrounding noise faded, the lights softened, and time seemed to stop flowing. She could only see him, see his open arms, see the tenderness in his eyes. Tears welled up again. This time, it wasn't acting, wasn't performance, it was a real emotional outburst. She sprinted over and threw herself into his embrace. How did you get here? Her voice choked up. Because you needed me. Lin Zhou held her tightly, feeling her body tremble. I'm sorry for making you wait so long. No, it's me who shouldn't. Shoo. Lin Zhou gently stroked her hair. You're doing great. You've always been doing great. On the set, everyone was stunned by the scene. Director Wang Kai stood in front of the monitor, his eyes fixed unblinkingly on the embracing couple. This is the emotion I wanted. His voice trembled slightly. This is true love. Chapter 3. The Brave Decision. In a cafe near Universal Studios Beijing, Sister Lu's phone buzzed non-stop. The moment the ringtone sounded, she picked it up immediately. Hello, yes, schedule is very full right now. Endorsement fee, hold on, let me jot that down. From 9 in the morning until now. She had answered over 20 calls, all of them were for Xiaoxinghe variety show invitations, brand endorsements, movie auditions. Every offer was tempting. You're really blowing up now. Sister Lu put down her phone, looking at Xiaoxinghe, who was quietly sipping coffee across from her. The girl wore a simple white hoodie, no makeup, but that face was still so beautiful it was hard to look away. The director of Love Observation Room called again. Sister Lu's tone turned serious. The terms are even better now. Xiaoxinghe's hand paused at the edge of her coffee cup. Love Observation Room. This year's hottest celebrity couple reality show. Every episode broke ratings records. The celebrity couples who participated were all top tier. After the show aired, the buzz lasted a full week. Who do they want me to pair with? Xiaoxinghe's voice was tense. That's the problem. Sister Lu's expression grew stern. She set down her coffee cup and leaned forward. They want you to bring your real boyfriend, not a show-arranged CP. Xiaoxinghe's heart raced instantly. Lin Zhou's face flashed. In her mind, his gentle eyes, faint smile, and those long fingers, dancing over the piano keys. I know what you're thinking. Sister Lu's voice was soft, but every word was clear. But once you go on this show, your relationship will be completely exposed. Xiaoxinghe's breathing quickened. Of course, she knew what that meant. It meant no more sneaking around in love. It meant facing the scrutiny of the entire internet. It meant Lin Zhou would be thrust into the spotlight too. So what, Xia? Xinghe's voice trembled slightly, but her tone was unwaveringly firm. I'm tired. I'm really tired. She set down her coffee cup, tears glistening in her eyes. I don't want to love him in secret anymore. I want the whole world to know how much I love Lin Zhou. I want them to see how happy we are. Sister Lu was silent for a long time. As an agent, her duty was to protect her artist's commercial value. A public relationship was always a double-edged sword for a female celebrity, especially for someone at Xiaoxinghe's level, but as a woman, she could understand Xiaoxinghe's pain. Have you thought this through? Sister Lu's tone softened. Once it's public, there's no turning back. People will curse you, say you're not good enough for him. Some will say it's a publicity stunt. It might even affect your commercial value. Xiaoxinghe nodded. I've made up my mind. Her voice carried an unprecedented firmness. I want the whole world to see how good Lin Zhou and I are together. I want them to know we're not a publicity stunt, not a gimmick. We're really in love. Lu Jia looked at her, her emotions tangled. This girl could conquer the world with her talent and beauty alone, but she chose the hardest path instead. For love. Alright, Lu Jia finally gave in. She reached out and gently patted Xiaoxinghe's shoulder. But the final say goes to Lin Zhou. If he says no, we'll pretend this topic never came up. A flicker of nervousness flashed in Xiaoxinghe's eyes. She knew Lin Zhou too well. He always put her feelings first. If he thought it would hurt her career, he'd definitely refuse. But this time, she hoped he'd be brave for their love. That night, Xiaoxinghe sat on the couch at home. The living room was quiet, broken only by faint sounds from the kitchen. Lin Zhou was cooking her favorite snow fungus and lotus seed soup. The orange cat, little glutton, curled up at her feet, occasionally purring in contentment. This scene, she wanted the whole world to see it, wanted everyone to know how happy she was. Lin Zhou, her voice was a little tense. Lin Zhou turned around, still holding a wooden spoon. His face looked especially tender under the light. I have something to talk to you about. Hearing her tone, Lin Zhou immediately put down what he was doing. He walked over and sat down beside her. What is it? Concern and a hint of tension flickered in his eyes. Xiaoxinghe took a deep breath. She detailed the invitation from Love Observation Room, the format of the show, the airing time, the possible impact. Lin Zhou listened intently, his expression gradually turning serious. You want to do it? His voice was calm, but Xiaoxinghe could feel the turmoil inside him. I do. Her voice was small but firm. I want everyone to see how much we love each other. I don't want to hide anymore. Lin Zhou was silent for a long time. Only the ticking of the clock echoed in the living room. Xiaoxinghe watched him nervously, her heart pounding. She was afraid he'd refuse. Afraid he'd say it wasn't the right time. Hee, Lin Zhou finally spoke. Do you know what'll happen once we go public? Xia Xinghe nodded. A lot of people will curse me, say I'm not good enough for you, they'll say we're just a publicity stunt, they'll dig up my dirt, it might even hurt your commercial value. Her voice grew quieter, but her gaze grew more determined. But I don't care, I only care about you, I only care about us. Lin Zhou's heart was deeply moved. He reached out and gently stroked her cheek. Her skin was smooth, warm. Silly girl, I've never thought you weren't good enough for me. I'm the one who's not good enough for you. Tears instantly welled up in Xia Xinghe's eyes. So you mean? A flash of resolve crossed Lin Zhou's eyes. I agree. His voice was soft, but steady enough to bring peace. I don't want you to face those rumors alone anymore. We'll face them together. We'll bear them together. Xia Xinghe threw herself into his arms. Her tears soaked his shirt. Thank you, Lin Zhou. Thank you for being brave with me. Lin Zhou held her tightly. His heart was a mix of emotions. He knew what this decision meant. It meant their lives would change forever. It meant he'd be thrust into the spotlight. It meant their love would be scrutinized by the entire world. But he didn't regret it. For her, he was willing to bear it all. The next morning, Lu Jia got a call from Xia Xinghe. Sis, we've decided. The girl's crisp voice came through the phone. We're doing love observation room. On the other end, Lu Jia was silent for a few seconds. She'd actually guessed the outcome already. You're sure? We're sure. Xia Xinghe's voice was calm. We don't want to hide anymore. We want everyone to see the real us. Lu Jia took a deep breath. Alright, I'll contact the production team now. But you two need to be mentally prepared. The netizens' reactions might not be as friendly as you think. Xia Xinghe gripped Lin Zhou's hand tightly. I know, but we'll face it together. No matter what happens, we won't regret it. After hanging up, Lu Jia immediately dialed the director of Love Observation Room. Hey, Director Wang, it's me. He agreed. An excited voice came from the other end. Awesome, the ratings for this episode are gonna explode. When can we start recording? Sister Lu glanced at the calendar. Would next Wednesday work? Absolutely no problem. We'll arrange the best filming crew. By the way, what's He's boyfriend's background? Game music. Producer. Sister Lu's voice was calm. Not in the industry. A brief silence on the other end of the line, then an even more excited voice. An outsider. This is such a juicy angle. A love story between an ordinary person and a superstar. Audiences eat this up. Once the news spread, the entire entertainment industry was shaken. Xia Xinghe was bringing her mysterious boyfriend to Love Observation Room. That legendary love letter man was finally about to reveal himself. Major marketing accounts started digging for dirt like crazy. The hashtag Xia Xinghe Love Observation Room quickly shot to the top of the trending list. Fans split into two camps. One side expressed support, believing idols have the right to love. The other side firmly opposed it, thinking it would ruin Xia Xinghe's career. Weibo's comment section exploded. Our is finally going public. So excited, what mysterious boyfriend. Definitely some industry insider hyping it up, please don't hurt our can't wait to see. Real love, probably some rich second generation, right, Hihi's taste has always been good, trust her choice, if this is just for publicity, I'm unfollowing. Xia Xinghe stared at these comments, her emotions tangled. There was support, opposition, and doubt. She knew this was just the beginning. The real test was still ahead. Lin Zhou wrapped his arms around her from behind, his chin resting gently on her shoulder. Any regrets? None. Xia Xinghe turned around to look into his eyes. What about you? None either. Lin Zhou's voice was soft. We'll face this together. Okay. Xia Xinghe nodded. She stood on her tiptoes and kissed his lips. Together. No matter how loud the outside world got, they weren't afraid because they had each other. That was enough. Chapter 4. A love straight out of a fairy tale. The day Love Observation Room officially announced its lineup, the online world erupted. Next to Xia Xinghe's name was a completely unfamiliar one. Lin Zhou. No verification, no title, just a Weibo alt account with 0 followers. The tidal wave of doubt flooded the comment section. Who the hell is Lin Zhou? An influencer? Some random nobody? What's this crap? Letting some C-lister leech off our Hihi's fame. This is the queen's boyfriend. I thought he'd be some corporate heir. Can't wait for the show to air and watch him embarrass himself. Negative comments surged like a broken dam, sweeping across the entire internet. In Sister Lu's office, the atmosphere was suffocating. On Her tablet, the hashtag Linzhou is not good enough for Xiaoxinghe had already hit #1 on the trending list, over 100,000 shares. The comment section was nothing but mockery. I knew this would happen. Sister Lu rubbed her aching temples, exhaustion written all over her face. Should we put out a statement first? Reveal that Lin Zhou is a music producer. Xiaoxinghe shook her head, her eyes were eerily calm. She was leaning against Lin Zhou's shoulder, both of them scrolling through the vicious comments on the screen as if they were watching someone else's story. No need. Lin Zhou's voice was as warm as a spring breeze. He turned off the phone screen and handed Xiaoxinghe a slice of apple he'd cut. The more they trash me now, the harder they'll eat their words later. Xiaoxinghe took a bite of the apple, the sweetness slowly melted on her tongue. She looked at Lin Zhou's calm, composed profile, and all her unease vanished. As long as he was here, she wasn't afraid of anything, even if the sky fell. On the Saturday night the show aired, countless people were glued to their TVs and phones. Some genuinely wanted to see their idol's love story, but most were there to laugh, ready to watch Xiaoxinghe crash and burn. The show opened with a parade of celebrity couples. Each one was glamorous, but their interactions felt staged. Commercial smiles, forced intimacy, even their hugs looked like chores. When it was Xiaoxinghe and Lin Zhou's turn, the vibe shifted. No flashy entrance. The camera cut to their cozy little kitchen. Lin Zhou, in a simple white loungewear set, was tying an apron. His hands moved skillfully, handling fresh ingredients. Xiaoxinghe trailed behind him like a little shadow. Every now and then, she'd sneak a bite of the freshly cut cucumber strips. Stop that, dinner's almost ready. Lin Zhou's voice was dripping with affection. He didn't even turn around, but he accurately patted her hand away. I'm just tasting the seasoning. Xiaoxinghe stuck out her pink tongue like a mischievous kid who'd gotten away with something. The audience in front of the screen froze. After a split-second pause, the barrage went wild. Holy shit, that's the national diva. She's exactly like my girlfriend who just messes around, this guy looks so hot cooking. That calm, effortless vibe. I'm in love, I'm so jealous. I'm literally dying. This isn't a couple. This is an old married couple's daily life, oh my god, the contrast is adorable. My heart can't take it. The next part of the show left everyone stunned. Lin Zhou's gentleness and thoughtfulness were etched into his bones. He remembered every dish Xiaoxinghe hated. He peeled shrimp shells and picked out fish bones for her. He silently handed her a cup of honey water at just the right temperature while she read scripts. He even gently pulled a blanket over her when she yawned. And the dazzling Xiaoxinghe, in front of Lin Zhou, completely let down all her defenses. She'd refuse to get out of bed. She'd pout and ask for hugs. She'd stick out her lower lip and cheat when she lost a game. That wordless understanding, that sweetness flowing through the air, it was a reality no script could ever capture. The barrage had completely lost control. What kind of fairy tale love is this? I'm going crazy, Lin Zhou, this guy is absolutely a hidden treasure, he is just a little girl in front of him, so cute. The show had a special interview segment. The director asked curiously how they met. We were high school classmates, Xiaoxinghe said with a smile. Her eyes sparkled with stars she couldn't hide. Back then, he was the top student in the whole school, and I was just a troublemaking slacker. Lin Zhou looked at her, his gaze so tender it could drip water. She wasn't a slacker, she just put all her smarts into music, holy shit, childhood sweethearts. What kind of fairy tale script is this, from school uniforms to wedding gowns, my ship has finally sailed, no wonder their chemistry is so good. Over a decade of feelings, how could it not be, I take back everything I said before. Public opinion took a dramatic turn in just 1 hour. Those netizens who had been trashing Lin Zhou started silently deleting their comments. The final segment of the show required guests to prepare a surprise gift for their partner. Other couples gave luxurious presents, limited edition bags, customized watches, expensive jewelry, valuable but lacking sincerity. When it was Lin Zhou's turn, he simply pulled out an old guitar from a corner that looked a bit worn. There were some signs of wear on the body. The guests on set were all a bit surprised. The barrage started flooding with doubts. Again, a song is way too cliché, look at everyone else's gifts, then look at this, kinda cheap, typical ordinary person thinking, no sense of romance at all. Lin Zhou ignored the stares around him. He quietly tuned the strings, then looked deeply at Xiaoxinghe. This song, I wrote it in my senior year of high school. His voice carried through the studio via the microphone. I didn't dare give it to you back then, Today, I want to sing it for you. Xia Xinghe's eyes instantly reddened. She recognized that guitar. It was Lin Zhou's treasure from high school. He'd saved up his allowance for half a year to buy it. A familiar yet unfamiliar intro began. The melody was simple and pure, like a summer afternoon breeze. Lin Zhou's voice was low and warm, each word hitting straight to the heart. That summer by the playground. The soda, you with your ponytail, smiling so sweet. The little notes passed in evening study hall. Your silly doodles. I hid them for years. The first chords I ever wrote. The lead was your laughing eyes. Wanted to tell you I like you, but could only watch your profile from afar. The lyrics had no fancy words, just the most trivial yet precious memories of youth, a secret code to their shared past that only the two of them understood. Xia Xinghe couldn't hold back her tears anymore. They fell one by one. She cried like a child, but smiled brighter than ever. The camera zoomed in on her. That tear-streaked face was pure, unguarded happiness and emotion. In the studio, everyone went silent. Even the host forgot to chime in front of TV screens. Countless viewers' eyes also welled up. The barrage tone completely shifted. I take back everything I said. This is the ultimate romance, wah. What kind of fairy tale love is this? So cry-worthy, money can buy luxury, but not over a decade of youth and companionship, Lin Zhou. I'm sorry, I was too loud before, this is real love. I'm so jealous I'm dying. The song ended, and Lin Zhou put down his guitar. He walked over to Xia Xinghe and gently wiped away her tears. His movements were as tender as if he were cherishing the most precious treasure in the world. Don't cry, your makeup is smudged. Xia Xinghe couldn't hold it in anymore. She threw herself into his arms and hugged him tightly. This is the best gift I've ever received. It's more precious than anything. The night the show aired, Weibo servers crashed instantly. #soulmate love #Lin Zhou Xia Xinghe get married now #how sweet is childhood sweetheart love #overod Kri crush finally Beresford #one by one. These trending topics dominated the top 10 on the hot search list. The voices that had previously questioned Lin Zhou vanished without a trace, replaced by a flood of blessings and envy. I declare, from today onward, Lin Zhou is my idol, give me a dozen of this kind of man, Xia Xinghe is so lucky to have found such a great guy, I'm going to learn music, just in case I can find love like this too. Sister Lu stared at the soaring numbers on her phone, too stunned to speak. Xia Xinghe's fan count skyrocketed by 3 million overnight, and Lin Zhou's Weibo followers shot from 0 straight to 500,000. She had bet right. No, it was Xia Xinghe and Lin Zhou, with their most sincere feelings, who had won everyone's respect. In the apartment, Xia Xinghe leaned against Lin Zhou, scrolling through the netizens' comments over and over. She smiled like a kid who had stolen candy. See, I told you they'd like you. Lin Zhou gently stroked her silky long hair. His eyes were full of doting amusement. They don't like me. His voice was as soft as water. They like the way we look together. They like the way we love each other. Chapter 5, The World's Blessings. The day after the show aired, Lin Zhou was woken by a sharp ring from his phone. He rubbed his sleepy eyes and checked the time. 7:30 in the morning. Xia Xinghe was still fast asleep beside him. She had been too excited to sleep until late last night, and now she was curled up in his arms like a little cat. Lin Zhou tiptoed to the living room and picked up the phone. Hello, Teacher Lin, I'm the music director of Shanghai Entertainment. An excited male voice came through the phone, so loud it hurt the ears. We'd like to invite you to produce music for several of our artists. The terms will definitely satisfy you. Lin Zhou frowned. Before he could respond, his phone rang again. Another unknown number. Teacher Lin, I'm a producer from Huai Music. We'd like to collaborate with you. Then came a third, a fourth. In less than an hour, Lin Zhou's phone had rung over a dozen times. All of them were invitation calls from music companies. Each offer was more tempting than the last. We can offer the highest production fees in the industry. You can create entirely according to your own ideas. We're willing to provide you with top-tier recording studios and equipment. Lin Zhou politely declined them all. His tone was gentle but his stance was firm. Thank you for your kindness, but I have no plans for now. My inspiration only serves Xinghe. This phrase quickly spread throughout the music industry, becoming a legend. Netizens flooded Weibo with comments. What kind of soulmate boyfriend is this? Rejecting all temptations for love. Teacher Lin Zhou is so devoted, I'm crying. This is what true love looks like. At 10 in the morning, Sister Lu stormed into Xia Xinghe's apartment. She was carrying a stack of contracts and proposals. Her smile was brighter than if she had won the lottery. Xinghe, you're on fire, completely on fire. Xia Xinghe had just finished showering, Her hair still wet, she looked at Sister Lu curiously, still groggy from sleep. What's wrong? Look at these. Sister Lu slapped the contracts onto the coffee table with a crisp sound. 3 endorsements, 2 variety shows, 5 movie scripts, all the offers are 30% higher than before. Lin Zhou walked out of the kitchen, holding 2 glasses of warm milk. What did these clients say? They said Xia Xinghe is more approachable now. Sister Lu was so excited she was waving her arms. Before, everyone thought she was a distant diva, but now they see her as the girl next door. This contrast has skyrocketed her national popularity. Xia Xinghe took the milk and naturally leaned into Lin Zhou's arms. What about Lin Zhou? Lin Zhou is even more impressive. Sister Lu pulled out her phone, the screen filled with countless messages. Hashtag teacher Lin Zhou is brilliant. Hashtag is already trending. All the major music platforms are contacting us like crazy. They want to buy the copyrights to the songs he made for you before. The offers are astronomical. Lin Zhou shook his head, his tone firm. Not for sale. Those songs are a gift for Xinghe. They're not merchandise. These words struck a chord with countless netizens. Once again, the bullet comments and comment sections on major platforms erupted once more. This man is too perfect. He must have saved the galaxy in her past life. I'm going to reincarnate and start over. In the afternoon, Xia Xinghe and Lin Zhou walked hand in hand through the mall. This was their first time being able to date openly. No need for masks, no need to hide. Passers-by turned their heads to look, but there was no malice in their eyes. Only blessings and envy. It's Xia Xinghe and Lin Zhou, so sweet, even sweeter. Then on the show, Lin Zhou is so handsome in person. A few young girls mustered up the courage to approach. Can we take a photo? Xia Xinghe smiled and nodded. Of course. During the photo, Lin Zhou naturally stood to the side, not stealing the spotlight, not putting on airs, just quietly watching Xia Xinghe, his eyes full of tenderness. Lin Zhou, join us too. The girls enthusiastically invited him. You two are such a perfect match. Lin Zhou smiled gently. I'll pass, you guys take photos with Xinghe. This moment was captured by a passerby and posted online. The caption read, "This is what true love looks like, always putting the other person first." The likes instantly broke 10,000. Back home that evening, Xia Xinghe received a special WeChat message. It was her high school class group. A group that rarely chatted suddenly became lively. We saw you on the show. Lin Zhou is still so gentle. We always said you two were a couple in high school. Xia Xinghe replied with a smile. Thanks for the blessings, everyone. The class monitor posted a photo. It was a group photo from their high school days. The photo was a bit yellowed, but the image was clear. Lin Zhou stood behind Xia Xinghe, with no intimate gestures, but the way he looked at her said it all. We could tell back then, the way Lin Zhou looked at Xinghe, he couldn't hide it. And now you've finally made it. Xia Xinghe handed her phone to Lin Zhou. Look, even our classmates are blessing us. Lin Zhou looked at the familiar avatars and names. A wave of warmth surged in his heart. Yeah, we've waited so long. Finally, we can be together openly. The next day, Lin Zhou visited Xia Xinghe's filming set. This time, he didn't have to hide. He could walk onto the set with his head held high. Teacher Lin, the staff greeted him warmly. You're here. He was just talking about you. Director Wang Kai walked over proactively. Teacher Lin, I've heard so much about you. The songs you wrote for are absolutely amazing. Lin Zhou smiled modestly. Director Wang, you flatter me. Xinghe's acting is what's truly amazing. A hint of envy flashed in Wang Kai's eyes. Your relationship with is truly enviable. Us single folks are constantly being fed dog food by you two. Xia Xinghe came out of the makeup room, and the moment she saw Lin Zhou, her eyes lit up. She trotted over and naturally linked her arm with his. Why are you here? I missed you. Lin Zhou's answer was simple and direct, but it made everyone present feel the sincerity. More dog food. Assistant Director Shaoli exaggeratedly clutched his chest. I can't take it anymore. During the filming break, Lin Zhou sat beside the monitor, quietly watching Xia Xinghe work. He didn't disturb her rhythm, just silently handed her a glass of warm water when she needed it or gently massaged her shoulders when she was tired. These little details were all captured by the photographer, posted online. They caused another sensation. This is the ideal love. Teacher Lin Zhou knows how to take care of someone. I want a boyfriend like that too. In the evening, Xia Xinghe and Lin Zhou returned home together. The little glutton was already waiting at the door. Seeing them, it immediately ran over to act cute. The little glutton is famous too. Xia Xinghe picked up the orange cat, gently stroking its soft fur. Now it has 500,000 followers. Lin Zhou smiled, even the cat is more famous than me, you have 2 million followers now, okay. Xia Xinghe looked at him with mock reproach, and they're all female fans, I'm jealous. Lin Zhou cupped her face, silly girl, my heart only has room for you, everyone else is just a passing cloud. A month later, Xia Xinghe's new album launch event. This was her first major event since going public with her relationship. The media was all watching to see how the fans would react at the launch venue. Every seat was filled. The audience wasn't just filled with fans, there were plenty of industry peers too. Everyone wanted to see what Xia Xinghe would look like after going public with her relationship. The moment she stepped onto the stage, thunderous applause erupted from the crowd. Hello everyone, I'm Xia Xinghe. Her voice was crisp and pleasant, more confident than ever before. First, I want to thank all the friends who supported us. You gave me the courage to make my relationship public. The applause swelled again from the audience. Xia Xinghe's gaze swept through the crowd, searching. Finally, she spotted Lin Zhou sitting in the corner. He gave her a slight nod, his eyes full of encouragement. This new album, every single song has a special meaning, because they bear witness to the love between me and someone. That someone is Lin Zhou. The atmosphere in the venue ignited instantly. Fans chanted Lin Zhou's name in unison. In that moment, Xia Xinghe knew her choice was right. Love doesn't need to be hidden. True love deserves to be blessed by the whole world. Chapter 6, The Best Destination. 3 months until the concert countdown. Xia Xinghe stood in front of the dressing room mirror. Her fingers gently traced the necklace hanging around her neck. It was a tiny eighth note, a gift Lin Zhou gave her on her 18th birthday. Time flew by so fast, from that shy girl back then to the national diva now. This necklace had witnessed all her growth. Ready for today's rehearsal. Sister Lu pushed the door open, holding a thick performance schedule. Xia Xinghe nodded, a flicker of nervousness in her eyes. This was the largest solo world tour of her career since debut. The final stop was at the Beijing Workers' Stadium. 80,000 seats, sold out within 3 minutes of tickets going live. Every single ticket carried the weight of her fans' expectations. How's Lin Zhou's preparation going? Sister Lu's tone carried a hint of mystery. He's been so secretive lately. Xia Xinghe pouted, her voice laced with a little complaint. He won't even tell me what he's busy with, just says he's preparing a huge surprise for me. Sister Lu smiled, a barely noticeable glint in her eyes. She knew exactly what Lin Zhou was planning, that secret, even she thought it was ridiculously romantic. Some surprises aren't surprises if you know them beforehand. The night before the concert, Xia Xinghe paced back and forth at home. The living room played the songs she'd perform tomorrow. Familiar melodies flowed through the air. Little Glutton lay lazily on the sofa, occasionally lifting its head to glance at her, then dozing off again. Even the cat was calmer than she was. Why aren't you asleep yet? Lin Zhou walked out of the study, exhaustion in his eyes. Can't sleep. Xia Xinghe walked over to him and naturally slipped into his embrace. A little nervous, Lin Zhou gently stroked her hair. His movements were as soft as calming a frightened little animal. Nervous about what? You're already the best singer out there. I'm afraid I won't sing well. Xia Xinghe's voice was muffled, her face buried in his chest. Afraid of letting everyone down, and afraid your surprise for me is too big. I'll end up crying on stage. Lin Zhou's body stiffened slightly, then he let out a soft laugh. Cry if you want, you're still cute when you cry. Xia Xinghe looked up, starlight shimmering in her eyes. Is it really a huge surprise? Really huge? Lin Zhou bent down and kissed her forehead. So huge you might forget your lyrics. Concert day, outside Beijing Workers' Stadium. It was a sea of people. Tens of thousands of fans had come from all over the country. Some had even flown in from abroad. They held up support signs, wearing matching fan gear. The scene was like a pink ocean. The unified chants pierced the sky. This was the pull of a top-tier star. This was Xia Xinghe's charm. In the dressing room, Xia Xinghe was making final preparations. Tonight's look was a long white gown. The hem was embroidered with delicate star patterns. It sparkled under the lights, as if she were truly draped in a galaxy. Time to go on stage. A staff member knocked softly on the door. Xia Xinghe took a deep breath. She looked at herself in the mirror. Go for it, Xia Xinghe, she whispered to herself, then pushed the door open and walked out. The concert officially began. The opening song was her breakout hit, Starry River. As the familiar intro played, all 80,000 spectators rose to their feet simultaneously, waving their glow sticks. The venue instantly turned into a sea of stars, breathtakingly beautiful. Xia Xinghe stood at the center of the stage, gazing at the dense crowd below. In that moment, an overwhelming wave of emotion surged through her heart. All these people had come because of her. All of them had gathered here because of her music. Thank you, everyone, her voice echoed through the venue via the speakers. Thank you for being with me all these years. The fans below grew even more excited, their shouts nearly tore the roof off. Hee hee, we love you, hee hee, we'll always support you. These voices were more precious than any trophy. As the concert reached its third song, Xia Xinghe scanned the crowd, a flicker of mischief suddenly flashing in her eyes. Do you guys want to hear a new song? The entire audience shouted in unison. Yes, the sound was deafening. The lyricist and composer of this song is someone very important. Xia Xinghe's voice turned tender. He's been with me from my school days until now. People in the crowd began to speculate. Murmurs rose and fell. Is it Lin Zhou? It must be teacher Lin Zhou. Let's welcome Lin Zhou with the warmest applause. The lights suddenly dimmed, only a single spotlight remained on stage. Lin Zhou walked out from the side of the stage. In his arms, he held that familiar guitar. The entire audience erupted instantly. Lin Zhou, Lin Zhou. The shouts surged toward the stage like a tidal wave at this moment. Lin Zhou was no longer just the behind-the-scenes music producer, he was Xia Xinghe's boyfriend, the dream boyfriend in the fans' hearts. Lin Zhou walked over to Xia Xinghe. He whispered something softly. Xia Xinghe nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. This song is the 100th one I've written for Xinghe. Lin Zhou's voice spread across the venue through the microphone. It's called My Girl, the 100th. The fans below were stunned. 100 songs. That was countless days and nights of creation. That was so much deep affection poured in. The notes of the guitar floated through the air. The melody was as gentle as a spring breeze brushing across a lake. Xia Xinghe closed her eyes, completely immersed in this song that was solely hers. This was the sound of love. This was the testament to over a decade of companionship. As the song reached the chorus, the large screen at the back of the stage suddenly lit up. A video began to play. The footage was a bit blurry, but it clearly showed a young Xia Xinghe and Lin Zhou, two little kids chasing each other in a park. Their laughter was crisp like silver bells. That was the purest joy. That was the most beautiful childhood. Then came scenes from middle school. A teenage Lin Zhou sat in the corner of the classroom, secretly gazing at Xia Xinghe in the front row. In the footage, Xia Xinghe was attentively listening to the lesson, completely unaware of the tender gaze behind her, the bittersweet years of a secret crush, the beautiful moments of silent devotion. Next were scenes from when Xia Xinghe first debuted. She stood on a small stage, her voice still a bit raw. The audience below was sparse, but Lin Zhou sat in the very front row, his eyes full of pride and support. From being unknown to being watched by thousands, he had witnessed every step of her growth. The footage continued. Every performance after Xia Xinghe became famous, Lin Zhou quietly sat in the audience, sometimes backstage at music festivals, sometimes at TV studio recordings. He always watched her silently. The love in his eyes never changed. Over a decade of unwavering companionship, over a decade of deep, unchanging affection. The final frame froze on a sentence, my girl, from the past to the future. The entire audience was already moved to tears by this video. Oh my god, this is so touching. They've known each other since childhood. This is true childhood sweethearts. What does it mean to be destined? What does it mean to be the one and only? This was the best explanation. The video ended, and the lights came back on. At the center of the stage, Lin Zhou had put down his guitar. At his feet lay a pile of colorful building blocks, exactly the kind they used to play with as kids. Xia Xinghe looked at him in confusion. She didn't know what he was about to do, but deep down, she had a faint ache that made her heart race. Lin Zhou crouched down and began building something with the blocks. His movements were slow, focused. Each block was placed with extreme care, as if he were crafting a work of art. The audience held their breath. The entire venue fell silent. Only the faint sound of blocks clicking echoed in the air. Time seemed to stand still. Everyone's eyes were fixed on him. 10 minutes later, a delicate little house appeared on the stage. A red roof, white walls, and a tiny door. This was the dream home they used to build as kids. Xia Xinghe's tears instantly burst forth. She remembered that afternoon, two little kids sitting on the floor, seriously building their own little house. This is our home, little Lin Zhou had said. We'll live here from now on. Little Xia Xinghe nodded. Okay. Then we'll always be together. Childish words, yet the most sincere promise. Lin Zhou stood up, pulled a small box from his pocket. He dropped to one knee, looking at Xia Xinghe standing before him. At this moment, the entire audience understood this was a proposal. This was the most romantic proposal. Xinghe, his voice trembled slightly, but his gaze was firm. Remember our promise when we were kids? Xia Xinghe's tears instantly welled up. Of course she remembered. It was their promise when they were 8, to build a home together, to spend a lifetime together. Our home is already built. Lin Zhou opened the box. Inside lay a special ring. The ring's design was unique, yet understated a dazzling diamond, delicately set atop an eighth note motif, echoing the necklace she had worn around her neck for years. I designed it to look like the beginning of our story. Lin Zhou's voice was as gentle as water. From the necklace to the ring, from the first flutter of the heart to this eternal moment, the entire audience had completely erupted. Propose, propose, the shouts were deafening. Everyone was moved by this romance. Everyone was witnessing this love. Lin Zhou took a deep breath, his voice firm as he said, Miss Xiaoxinghe, my girl, will you marry me? Will you join me in turning this little house into a real home? Xiaoxinghe was already crying so hard she couldn't speak. She looked at the man before her. Countless images flashed through her mind from childhood sweethearts to now. Knowing and loving each other, he had been with her through every important moment of her life. Now, he wanted to walk through the rest of her life with her. Yes, I will. Her voice rang out across the venue. Yes, I will. The entire audience stood up simultaneously. Applause thundered like a storm. Mary, Mary. The shouts of tens of thousands merged into one. This was the grandest witness. This was the most beautiful blessing. Lin Zhou stood up, trembling. He slid the ring onto her finger. The ring fit perfectly around her finger as if it was made for her. Then he held her tightly in front of 80,000 spectators. Before the lens of the livestream they embraced. The stage lights softened, as if the whole world was blessing them. At that moment, Xiaoxinghe felt she was the happiest woman in the world. She had the best career. She had the one she loved most. She had the most beautiful future. The livestream comments for the concert were flooded. All blessings and envy. What kind of fairy tale love is this, comma, I'm crying my eyes out, so romantic, comma, he married love, comma, teacher Lin Zhou is too perfect, comma, I want to marry him. At the proposal scene, this night was destined to be written into entertainment history. This night witnessed the most beautiful love, from childhood sweethearts to growing old together, from silent protection to a public proposal. This was the best destination. This was the most perfect ending.